Katee Sackhoff had a comment on a recent podcast. I'm going to just share her comment, and then we got to talk Mandalorian because I have no idea. I have no idea what the movie's going to be. There hasn't been a teaser. There's not.
There's a leaked trailer, but it's just a hallway fight scene.
There's a leaked trailer, but let's. I have no idea what this movie is even going to be. I have it right here, the clip, but what are people's thoughts on like what the Mandalorian movie is even? What is it? Why do we need it? What's the point?
Well, I was about to say that. Does anybody even really care? I mean, Mando was
Right.
he was cucked in his own show in his last season. So who cares? He's no longer the cool guy we want to follow. So
you don't want to see him rescue Jabba's gladiatorial son, played by the guy from The Bear, a big muscly hut, because that's what it is, and protect him from bounty hunters.
Anyone cares about this? Like
well, let's see.
I just want to see. I want to see Jack Black and Lizzo make out.
Yeah.
Let's see what Katee Sackhoff has to say. She's dealing with some things.
I lost all of my confidence after Mandalorian.
After Mandalorian, you lost your confidence?
All of it.
What are you talking about? How?
Because it wasn't, this is such a weird thing to even talk about.
This is great that we're talking about this because oftentimes actors don't share this stuff.
My style of acting has always just been your first instinct is the right instinct.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay.
Play the reality of the situation. And I've never really played a character. You know what I mean? Like I've always played 2 steps removed from myself in a sense. Like it always felt grounded in some part of my belly of who I was.
Sure. Okay.
Bo-Katan is nowhere near who I am as a human being. Her life, what she wants, like I didn't understand her. I mean, as much as I understood her, I never felt her in my stomach. I never identified with her. I didn't know how to find her. And I found myself.
That's scary when that happens.
Very scary.
Yeah.
And it broke me. It just broke me where I started.
So it broke. First of all, by the way, I love Katee Sackhoff. I think she should have played Captain Marvel.
Interesting to note that she's played this character 4 years in the cartoon Bull series. And it wasn't until live action, specifically the 3rd season, that she started having these issues of.
But to be fair, it seems like working on a Disney / Lucasfilm production has to be miserable. It has to be miserable, not fun. I love Katee Sackhoff. Rob, you've worked with her.
Yeah, she's in my audio drama. And I have to say, she wanted to talk to me the night before, and she wanted to know what I wanted from the character, and she loved the writing. And I thought that was a really classy move on her part. And I got to tell you, she came loaded to bear. I mean, she was amazing to the point where she has a breakdown. She breaks up with the main character in the end of the 2nd episode she's in. And I was astonished. I mean, even though it was voiceover, man, it was heartbreaking. I would hire her I would put her in anything. She was great in Longmire, the series Longmire, which a lot of people don't know she was in. I mean, she's a phenomenal actress. Phenomenal. So
I think she has a lot of cred for sure. I love Battlestar. I'm always going to go back to that for me with her.
Same.
Love Battlestar, but I'm on Badger with this. I'm gonna call bullshit a little bit because you play a character for 4 years before you even get to live action, and you don't understand their motivation. Like you don't understand who they are as a character.
But I think she's being honest. I think she's being honest.
Yeah, but it's so unlike Disney to not go back to the source material and just to create a brand new character and then voice
that's where I'm going with it. I think the character changed so much from the animated to the Mando season.
Did she though? Because she still wanted the same thing in the Mandalorian. She still wanted the same thing.
Yeah, but the
issue is
demands
those Clone
on
Wars
being
just
on
still had
set
George.
on the Mandalorian is very different than being in an animated series.
Yeah,
Originally, you
now
had George there.
You had directors who understood the characters in the animated versus
You had voice
the live
acting
action.
directors. This is years later on a third season with Filoni as the only one on set explaining everything and telling her motivation. Sit in the chair and go like this. Why am I just sitting there like
Didn't
this?
Filoni
Just
create
do
the
it.
character?
Filoni created Bo-Katan. Yeah, this is all Clone Wars characters. She's played the character in voice acting for years. It's only in the live action depiction where the dissonance is happening.
Yeah, but she talked about it. She likes characters that play the moment, that plays the reality of the moment. And I'm figuring out that she probably didn't get that chance to do it on the live action.
No, what her issue is, Bo-Katan is not a good person, so she can't play it twice removed because there's no part of her that would do the things that Bo does. And so it's hard for her to play a character that's complete and utterly separate from her. So she thinks, she goes on to say that she got an acting coach and did a couple other different things. But
and don't get me wrong, I love KATEE Sackhoff. I think she's a great actress. I think she's one of the more genuine people out there. I just found it weird that the same character, played for all these years, she didn't understand.
You know what's really weird too? Battlestar Galactica. We've all seen it. Most of us have seen it. BSG, the reinvented one. I love the one from the 80s, with Lauren Green. It was of its time. Let's just say I even watched Galactica 1980. I love it. I love the score. I love it. I also love the Ron Moore BSG. And if you think about it, they race and gender swapped a lot of people and nobody cared. KATEE Sackhoff as Starbuck was awesome. I do miss Colonel Ty, Boomer. Like they changed those characters around, which was fine. It was diverse in a different way. But why did no one complain then?
People did complain. I remember people complaining.
Some people did complain, Chris.
But she very quickly changed their minds.
Well, I think when the show came out, no one cared about Sackhoff as
Where was social media at when that?
Well, that's true. Social media was not a thing.
And I remember they announced
there
it by
no
having
Twitter
them at Starbucks
when that show was around, right?
Yeah. No, but there was MySpace and Facebook. They had them at Starbucks where the original actor and her talked. It was sort of like come on, the original actor's okay with it. Don't hate us. And then the miniseries came out and everyone loved her.
Yeah, but it was, I'll tell you what it was. The writing was great.
Yep.
You can quibble about a lot of other stuff on that show. The writing was phenomenal. The casting was great. So
I was going to say something about KATEE Sackhoff and the Mando season 3. So I'm crushing ice. There's this scene when you first meet her, and the Mandalorian lands, and she's sitting in her like throne or something, and she's kind of draped over this, and the Mandalorian has to walk down this really long corridor to get to her. I'm sure, being the actress that she was, she's like, why am I sitting in this chair? Why am I waiting? Why am I waiting for this guy to come? Wouldn't I go meet him? Like, she's draped over and for me, when I watch that scene, and I, as somebody who's directed television before, I'm like, that is a terrible thing to do to an actor, because what you're doing is you're asking an actor who's supposed to be a character to not do something. Yep, you're just going to sit there, KATEE. Nobody would do that. And so she was probably thinking to herself, why am I if I run this place and this is my domicile, what am I going to do? Just walk? Nobody in their right mind would sit there and wait for somebody to walk down a really long corridor. You'd meet them halfway, or you'd do something.
And unless your character is arrogant, unless your character has this sort of persona about herself, like then you would expect, no, everybody approaches me. And that's where I was like, this isn't Bo-Katan.
Yeah, but real quick,
do that. And that's the major issue that I had. And that's why I think the character's changed from what Bo-Katan was in the Clone Wars to where she is here. Just
to Robert's point. There's literally footage of her asking what he just said. Why am I sitting there? Do I just sit like that all the time? Yeah, it's one of her podcasts. Do I just sit like that and wait for people to come?
That's the problem.
So I'm really suggesting that the reason she all of a sudden started having problems is because the live action version is not written as well with enough thought and care, and there's a very big difference between animation and live action.
Yeah,
that's where the problems come.
And I thought, for the most part, the thing about season 3, I thought Mandalorian was it was fine for what it was. It was never great. it was fine. But when the time you get into the third season, the writing was so terrible. It's so clunky. You're always asking yourself, what is going on? Like how I'm landing when they went down to Mandalore, they would go down into Mandalore, they'd come back up. They'd go back down into Mandalore and they'd come back up like 3 times in one episode. And I was like, what is this? Like these are like first draft scripts they're shooting.
Served no narrative point at all.
Yeah, and
we saw hints of that. We saw hints of that with the Book of Boba Fett.
Well, that was terrible too.
Yeah.
Look, when they brought Baby Yoda back, I mean, that was the death of the show. The
Which
point
was the second season, right? That everyone loved at the end, that button.
The point, like, just deliver this baby to Luke. Maybe this character will come up again. But one of the things that George Lucas said, I've seen quotes from him recently, is that it was in the Red Letter Media, which I think Rob, you were in it.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the FNT people and Rob.
I was like, why? What do you got to put me in there for? I wasn't hit. I wasn't raging on the. It was funny.
Why was I not in there? Excluded. They had thumbnails. Anyways, whatever it was, they kept bringing back that, like, Lucas, he was so good at restraint, right? It was never too much of something makes you want it more. The character Boba Fett. Think back to when that character was popular originally. It was sparseness. He had minutes of screen time. It was the coolest character in the galaxy. And you had to send away. He was in a cartoon on the holiday special, the best part of that holiday special. And you had to send off with box tops to get that rocket firing Boba Fett. He made things so cool by limiting their viewing. And Disney has no restraint. Everything is done to death. And we're going to get baby Chewbacca and baby Dengar and baby of every Star Wars character. They will milk this franchise to death if it's not dead already, and it probably is.
Well, it's interesting that they decided to take a TV show and turn it into a movie. Like, if you've watched Mandalorian on television, why would you get excited about, now I have to go pay for The Mandalorian, which is I mean, I understand maybe the movie's going to be good. I have no idea, but
it's team ups. They want them to team up with.
But it's just so weird that's what they decided to do. Is what a lazy thing to do.
But that was their plan, wasn't it? They were going to combine all of the, like Book of Boba Fett, Skeleton Crew, Rangers of the New Republic, like all of these Filoni-verse movies into a grand event, and they were going to put that in theaters. And I think
this one works,
the Infinity War of Star Wars.
If this one works, reportedly Filoni was going to get his tie-up that would end off Ahsoka and Thrawn and all the other stuff. But this one has to work, and I wasn't kidding when that is the plot of the movie. It's Mandalorian and Baby Grogu protecting Jabba the Hutt's son, who's a gladiator Hutt, and he's being targeted by rival bounty hunters. So it's like Terminator 2, basically, but Baby Grogu and Mandalorian are the Terminator protecting John Connor, Jabba's son. Yeah.
In the words of Harrison Ford, I don't care.
The guy from the Bear plays Jabba's son.
Oh my God.
Jeremy Allen White.
Does he look like a human or does he look like a Hutt?
He looks like a big muscly Hutt.
Wait,
you've seen these
Jeremy
depictions in the
Allen
Clone
White?
Wars.
They're wasting as an actor on that?
Yes.
Sigourney Weaver's in it too.
I hope he got paid well.
General of some sort. I think a New Republic general.
Oh my God.
They got talent. I don't know. I don't know if Pedro is going to show his face. I would, if I were them, I would keep Pedro out of all of the marketing from now until when the film comes out. I would just have nothing but Jon Favreau, and that's it.
Yeah, it just seems like this is Jon Favreau's swan song.
Well,
thanks for your service in Star Wars. Here's your movie.
To be fair, Favreau was one of the directors considered for episode 7. He was going to make it. And I think JJ, well, it seemed at the time the right choice. And Red Letter Media, of course, called it. They were the ones that made that happen. That's why JJ Abrams did Force Awakens. He would have been a better choice. Looking at Mandalorian season 1, Favreau was a better choice. He understood Star Wars better than JJ Abrams. Not a stretch. A lot of people could.